I never thought I'd say these words, but Treyarch have done the impossible and have turned Onslaught into a good zombies mode. Now, if you're watching this video and you're unaware of what Onslaught even is, then I'm not surprised. A month or so before the release of Black Ops Cold War, PlayStation and Activision announced a exclusive zombies mode only on PlayStation called Onslaught. The community were not happy with this news, as no one likes to be gatekeeped out of a mode, especially when it's zombies related. And to add insult to injury, if you don't play on PlayStation, you can't play this mode until November 1st, 2021. Onslaught released for PlayStation players on day one, and it struggled to get off on the right foot, as it was criticized for many different reasons. The gameplay, for one, was incredibly slow, as the gameplay consists of you following an orb, killing enough zombies to power that orb, and then it will move somewhere else on the map, and then you rinse and repeat. Each wave of zombies taken out is called a surge, and then the orb will move, but you've got a time of about 20 seconds or so where there's no action happening. Furthermore, it lacked a ton of very essential features that has become custom place in zombies, such as perk machines, pack-a-punch machines, workbenches, and armor stations, making the gameplay loop of Onslaught even more difficult, because you couldn't increase the strength of your loadout weapon through the tier system, or pack-a-punching it, or applying an ammo mod. So a lot of the community writ Onslaught off there and then as what felt like a very last minute addition to the mode, just so that PlayStation had some sort of exclusive content. Roll on to the Season 2 Reloaded update, where Treyarch have clearly listened to all of that feedback, have addressed some of the biggest issues with this mode, and actually made it into an incredibly fun experience. This is all due to a brand new game mode that they've added into Onslaught, which is called Containment. Let me tell you, it's incredible how much better of an experience this mode makes to Onslaught. Now, if you play Cold War on Xbox and PC, you're probably watching this video feeling really frustrated, probably wanting to leave a dislike, and leave a comment below about how unfair it is that you don't have access to this mode, and I completely side with you guys. I encourage you guys to just watch this video through before you do any of those things, but the purpose of this video is to highlight the good work Treyarch have done and the work that they can still continue to do to this mode to make it better, so that by the time you guys get it, it feels like a full proper mode rather than just a beta. And as strange as it sounds, this is a redemption story for Treyarch, as when this mode first dropped, it was seen as the most anti-consumer worst thing that Treyarch has ever created. So how exactly has Treyarch made this mode better? First of all, the Containment game mode takes place only on the gunfight maps from Cold War, which are much smaller locations, making it more intense and also speeding up the gameplay. I jumped into this mode on two gunfight maps, KGB and Game Show. You can instantly feel how much better this mode plays compared to the normal Onslaught mode, where zombies are spawning literally all the time. There is no downtime whatsoever in between these surge rounds, and it really feels like you're playing classic survival zombies, where you're just pitted with a small map, loadout weapon, and the rest is up to you. Every 3 to 5 rounds, you will encounter an elite encounter, which is no different to the normal Onslaught mode, but taking these out give you a ton of item drops, which was severely needed in Onslaught, and it's so refreshing to finally see this here now, where before you would only ever get level 1 armor drops, but now we can get level 2 and level 3, and with the different chalices that would drop, being bronze, silver, or gold, depending on how many elites you've cleared, that would just be a medal for bragging rights of how far you got. But now in game, they actually will pack-a-punch your weapon tier 1, 2, and 3, which is something which you could never do before. This is fantastic. Furthermore, there's these new ether tool drops, which if you pick up will upgrade the rarity of your weapon. Before in Onslaught, you'd literally spawn in with your loadout weapon and that's it. It would never get any stronger. And we all know from playing regular zombies and Outbreak how important it is in later rounds to upgrade your weapon's rarity, because then it will do more damage. Part of me is baffled why these drops were never here in Onslaught in the first place, but in this specific Containment game mode, as you see, the zombies literally never stop spawning in, and it's fantastic. I've seen a lot of people in the community and in my Twitter mentions also point out how much fun they've been having recently with this new Containment game mode, because like I said, the zombies just never stop spawning. It's exactly the sort of experience you'd want to have if you didn't have a lot of time in your day but wanted to slay out and, you know, just go through loads of waves of killing the undead. And this is a great way to do it. Rounds are replaced with these surges, and basically once you've killed a certain amount of zombies, that round is over and it just keeps going and going and going. Now this was so fun that on the KGB map that you're seeing, I went all the way to round 64, and you could easily go even further than that. I believe that the surge count caps out at 127, but you can go for as many rounds as you want, just like you can in regular zombies. But this is a lot easier than regular zombies because, as we all know, the higher up in the rounds you go, the more zombies you'll have to take out in that round, and it just gets more and more and more. Whilst here, it gets to a point where you only need to take out about 33 zombies or so to clear the surge round and move on to the next one. And every 3 rounds, you get an elite boss that spawns in. If you're using Ring of Fire and the Hour, then you can pretty much already work out how quick it is to take out these bosses. It's super, super quick. Now, most of you watching this video might not even play on PlayStation, so might feel that this video is pointless to you because you can't play this, and I definitely feel for you guys. I really, really do. But I wanted to make this video with 2 points in mind. The first one being that, hey, Xbox and PC players watching this video, whilst you don't have Onslaught right now, PlayStation users have essentially been playing a beta version of the mode, because only until now has it really started to feel like it's a game mode worth playing. From launch to now, Onslaught has felt very much comparable to Modern Warfare's survival mode, which was a similar PlayStation only exclusive mode. However, that felt completely stripped of any identity it had from its original incarnation in Modern Warfare 3, and you could easily skip it, never play it, and you wouldn't miss out on much. And until recently, Onslaught has felt very comparable to that experience, being very mediocre, something that you'd only play once and never play it again. But the real difference here is Treyarch's approach to this mode post-launch. Modern Warfare survival mode got very little, if any, updates during its year of life, and the criticisms people had with it on day one are still valid today. Treyarch, on the other hand, have had a real comeback story here, where they weren't going to leave Onslaught in the way that it launched, and they've made significant upgrades to the gameplay with each season. But this Season 2 Reloaded update has drastically improved the gameplay to the point where you're hearing me now praising the gameplay as well as praising this limited time mode, and I am not the only person saying how good this mode is now. But what I want Treyarch to do is to further update the Onslaught gameplay so we have mechanics like perk machines, pack-a-punch machines, armor stations, and above all, make this Containment LTM mode a permanent mode. I'd go so far as to say get rid of the main Onslaught mode and have Onslaught Containment as the main Onslaught mode, because the gameplay is just so much faster paced. It's just very fun to have that option of jumping into a game of zombies and being able to just start mowing the hordes down straight away. I think the fact that this mode is also played on multiplayer maps gives you a really unique opportunity to switch the maps up ever so slightly from how they appear in multiplayer and have those zombie specific things added in, because on paper it sounds pretty awesome that we have our classic zombies maps, we have the outbreak maps, and then you also have pretty much every multiplayer map available as a zombies experience. But with the way that Onslaught played at launch, it just felt like it was a wasted opportunity. But now it feels a lot more fun to play, and I think that just gives you great opportunities to switch up the multiplayer maps and have them have some zombies-esque bits, because at the moment all you get from them is map exclusive intels. Treyarch have already stated on record that they plan to increase spawn rates and speed increases between these surge rounds on the normal Onslaught mode to match what the rates are like in traditional zombies and outbreak. So it already sounds like this mode is going to get better and better as time goes on. If you're watching this video and you have a PlayStation, you've tried Onslaught and you thought it was trash and you're a bit skeptical, I definitely recommend you jump into Containment, give it a go, because it really is a lot of fun. And this really makes me excited to see what Treyarch are capable of in the future to improve the gameplay aspects of any mode within zombies. This just proves that it can be done, and I'm personally really happy that Treyarch have gone through the effort to improve the gameplay of Onslaught, even going as far to create a limited time mode for it. Like, I can imagine that the player base for Onslaught isn't very big at all. If anything, this is nothing but a positive experience at the end of the day for the players and for Treyarch themselves. And would I go so far as to say that this is now a must-play mode? If you don't have a PlayStation, you need to go out and buy one straight away? I wouldn't go that far. It is definitely a much more fun mode to play than it was at launch, but it's definitely not worth shelling out to buy a brand new PlayStation just for it. But if we're only in the second season and they've made improvements like this, by the time that this launches on all platforms, we could really see this mode in a really good place with a ton of even better gameplay additions and changes. If you've had a chance to play it since the update, I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments below. If you're going to jump in, let me know your thoughts once you've played. I thought this would make for a really interesting video video looking at this redemption story that Treyarch have been on with this mode since launch, and it's in a really good spot. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. I know it's something a little bit different to my usual uploads, but I really wanted to talk about Onslaught and showcase that Treyarch have done a good thing with this. If you did enjoy the video and you want to help out the YouTube algorithm, a like before you leave would be awesome. And on your screen now, you can check out one of my other recent videos. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.